Top Hill Recording Podcast, episode 156.
0.5.
We've got an all-star crew back again.
Back again.
Yeah. Ray Keys and the Elementals. Go with it, guys.
Shining through and through, we keep fighting on, tried and true. 3 steps forward, 1 step back. No, we won't yield, we stand united, we're black. Oh. Casey Powell. Take another, Casey.
All right, we got to tell on ourselves. We got so excited to hear them, we forgot to hit record the first time they played that. Man.
It's okay, though. It happens.
We can
Is
cheers twice.
Casey happy?
Yeah, cheers. Let's take another drink.
Casey's glad. He liked the second one better.
All right, so why don't you guys go around the room, quickly introduce yourselves to our listeners.
Ray Keys of Ray Keys and other bands.
I'm Casey Powell.
I'm CJ.
Sarah Wilson.
Kiana Dell.
Yeah. So welcome back for you guys.
For having us back.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
I was
having us.
excited.
So Jalen, are you still driving like a couple 100 miles a week?
So I've actually moved back down here.
Okay.
I know everybody's so excited. Everybody was like waiting
Don't
for
tell
me to.
anybody else, or you'll be asked to be in 17 more bands.
The drive from Indianapolis was pretty crazy, but I have since moved back down here. I actually just started my music therapy internship
Oh, awesome.
Wow,
at
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Norton Hospital. So
Phenomenal.
I'll be doing that until July. So
Okay.
Congratulations.
Cool. Congratulations.
That's great.
Yeah.
But don't tell anybody so they don't try to hire her. And
Right, like
her
Yeah,
time
I've already
away
got-
from
Exclusive to us.
Please,
So,
Yeah.
please, listeners,
Hands
keep
off.
this information to yourself.
Whatever. I'm in this room. I've had a note in my pocket the
Lady
next time I
bass
saw
exclusive.
Jalen about playing bass. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Ray,
My buddy's
tell us a little bit
starting
about
a
that song.
band,
Don't you do it, Casey. Don't you do it.
can't contain him. We've tried.
I know.
Oh my gosh, so many times. But that song, Brown and Gold, that was the first original I ever wrote for myself as Ray Keys. So I'd written other songs for other bands or had musical input on other projects. But that was the first Ray Keys original. So I'm proud of that song. That's my baby.
All right, so how do you decide, all right, this is my song? I mean, did you, when you wrote that song, were you intending for this is going to be for me? Or was it just I'm going to write and it felt personal,
It
too
felt
personal?
personal.
let
Anytime
go?
I write a song, it's pretty much. I mean, sometimes for the Sun Kings, another band I'm a part of. I play keys in that band. Sometimes I write songs and then it has a purpose and I know who it belongs to. For that one, I was like, this one feels personal. So I actually, you know what? No, I just lied to y'all. That song, I almost had other people sing that song and then decided at a point, like, no, this is too important. This one's mine.
Awesome.
Yeah. But there have been other times where I wrote songs for the Sun Kings or wrote a song and didn't know who it was going to go to. I have songs on the computer right now. I don't know where they're going.
But
Yes.
you don't.
But they're there.
Kind of like you
Yeah.
don't want them.
We have songs in the Sun Kings catalog that they were like this close to being a Ray Keys song, and I was like, please, we love it so much. But it has an essence of Ray. The Sun Kings has a song called Snowblind that Daquan wrote.
yep.
That
I wrote that one in
It's
5 minutes.
Ray
I wrote
all
it
over
on the
it.
way to a rehearsal, and I was like, well, this is going to be a Sun Kings one. And then for what's the one? True American. Like you had lyrics and melody for a lot of it. You had it for the bridge or for
and like a guitar
something,
lick I had.
and a guitar lick.
Yeah.
But I had previously she didn't know this before. But I had previously had chords that I was going to use for a Ray Keys song, and I was like, this would go perfect for this. And we added those horns, and it is where it's supposed to be.
It landed where it needed to. Huh?
Yep.
Right on. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that song. It's pretty heavy, pretty deep, pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I wrote that song. I think it was January 2020 because I was in the house and I was like, I need to write because there was nothing else for me to do besides that and binge watch movies, which I'm still doing today. But
We all got in that habit.
yeah. But I started that song. That was the first one I wrote for myself, and then after that was kind of about the Black experience in America because that's just what I was feeling at the time. And then I guess it was 2 months later. Everyone hears about Breonna Taylor. And so then I decided to write a whole EP, which is 7 songs. It's called Brown and Gold. Just about my relationship with the country at the time and my feelings about that.
You know, that's very, when I listened to the EP, the one, and maybe it was because, you know, the new song, comparatively to the EP, there was such seriousness, not only lyrically, but musically. It seemed very direct and very to the point, but real serious. It had that old school R&B, like 80s, 90s. I don't know about 80s, but R&B flavor. But it felt so.
It's important for it to still be raw to me.
It felt raw, but it was so. It just felt there was an intensity to it that that I couldn't explain, but I could gather that it was in the record. It just felt more, So I don't know, and I do believe that like the lyrics matched what was going on with the music as good as anything that you can do, or at least anything that I've heard. 156 episodes. Because a lot of times, you can hear music and then lyrics, and it's just like. They don't marry, there's a disconnect between the two, but yeah, man, I just listening to it. And maybe it was because the new song is so fun.
I have moved into a more pop direction, definitely, like a more produced direction. My producer right here, Casey Powell.
What's up? MC Casey.
I put him to work. It's been long hours. Because the sound definitely has to. The sound and the arrangement definitely have to match the lyrics. The lyrics have to match the song itself, the composition. I think for most of my stuff, actually, my process has changed, and there was actually a clear marker from when it changed. So when I first started writing, I typically wrote the instrumentation first, and then I would have an emotion or a feeling that I put along with that, and then craft the lyrics around that composition. Recently, though, I have been getting more one of my songs called "Come Back to Me" also features Kiana. I wrote the percussion part for that verse, which my drummer Sear hates me for.
Yeah, Doc put like 6-7 lyrics. How did you play the recording?
But I've been studying producers, and so I've been listening to really getting into Timbaland and Pharrell and people like that. And so I was listening, and MJ, Michael Jackson, I'm listening to their percussion, and that was what was driving the song, the percussion and the bass, which is why I hired these two people, because they're insane players and I knew they could do it. But in doing that, I realized, I completely changed the process of how I write.
That's interesting, man. I think I've told you this before. Everything I listen to is there first. It's all about the rhythm. I always hear that before, and it's not even intent. I have to listen for lyrics.
Me too.
Yeah, that's so.
Same.
So you basically are like, all right, let's see what I can kill my section with back here and see what they can come up with. My God, man,
he's not lying. It's like 7 or 8 drum layers.
See, I'm the opposite.
I believe there's more.
I always listen to lyrics first as a vocalist. I think I have to be and as a vocalist is my primary instrument too. I have to be so in tune with how to convey my emotion to an audience. So when we were writing Brown and Gold, Ray came to me with lyrics that were pre-established, and we kind of workshopped and wrote them together. And we were talking about this overall feeling, especially at the time, but I think always with our being Black in America, I think that the consensus is usually like, oh, Black people must hate America. But we were talking about, we're like, no, we love this country and we feel disrespected by it. And that's why it hurts the most. So that line, we carried their cities across the Nile and the Mississippi, talking about the history of Black people in America and what we've built and how, yes, we love this country, but we want to feel loved by it. So it started with that. But then Brown and Gold is probably one of the songs that feels the most ethereal to perform on stage. It's one that's very easy to get lost in because the rhythm and the musical bed that Ray has built and that the band then adds to, it's like a trance. So that's one that I don't have to work to get into a flow state. It kind of just happens.
You know what? You know how intimidating it would be to take Kiana and some lyrics. So yeah, come up with the melody. And then let me figure out how to sing that with you.
Listen, come on. I do that to people a lot. I'm like, this is what I have. I need you to put yourself into it so that it becomes the best it can be. Because I could write everything. That's not always that fun,
You tend to get stuck. You can get stuck in that.
The fun is the cooperation for me. Yeah.
Well, and it's amazing what comes out of it. Not only the music itself, but there has been a version. The 4 of you guys that have been in before. That is like a traveling group. There, if Casey's
Truly.
here, I'm going to see a couple of you. There will be a few of you that are together, and I'm sure that you guys now will be a part of that mix that we just see. You all show up.
Yeah.
You'll show up with somebody else and be like, hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. We'll be, so part of that, it just seems like part of the whole process of sharing and being open about the process of writing and figuring out the process lends to creating a real group of tight-knit people that also are just badass musicians too. That also helps. Yeah. So it's awesome to see on our side that the repetitive nature that there's just so much community in Louisville music as it is. We talk about that quite a bit, but it is awesome.
So, Ray, how did you connect with CJ and Sear?
Well, Sear, I've known for years. That was it? See, that's what I'm talking about.
Turn his mic off.
Yeah, turn his mic off. That's what I'm talking about. He will have us here for an extra hour.
Dad joking.
With
just puns.
Yeah, just jokes.
Sear.
Here we go.
Is he a dad yet?
No, that's what I'm like, dude. This guy's got great dad jokes
I have the
too.
best dad jokes, and I'm not a dad either.
Don't.
I'm done.
Okay.
I got a couple loaded, but I'm not going to say.
So I connected with Sear years ago. I think it must have been high school, right?
I think it was when you
Or was it
first
early
got to
college? Because
it was through
no, that had to have been early. That was early high school, I think. Or not early high school, late high school.
Were we playing together in high school? That's crazy.
Because they were doing jam. I don't know, man. It's been some years. We were playing. We met through a mutual friend. Was it Blaze and Kevin? Blaze. What's his last
Sax
name?
player.
Blaze Grudy and Kevin Dahl.
All right.
We were playing jams together at Molly Malone's, and
Yeah, that was college.
That's some years.
And so that's how we met. And you were playing drums on those gigs, right?
Yeah, I was playing kid.
But he plays everything, so he's one of those.
Yeah.
That's how I connected with.
He was on keyboard.
That's how it is. So yeah, I connected with him years ago, and we just kept in touch through then. And then he asked me to play at his church, and so we've been with each other since then. Yeah.
I did just make a note. It says, "Don't trust Ray's timelines."
Yeah, no. See, the thing is, I remember my long-term memory is real good. Like, I'll call you out on something you said like years ago, but short-term memory, don't ask me nothing. But I don't know when it happened. I just know it happened.
It did
right?
happen.
CJ, and who was it? Will?
William
I
Breckenridge.
don't know how y'all know.
So there was another drummer before him. Just don't tell him.
I won't.
There was a drummer before Sear, Will Breckenridge.
Yeah, he's been in here.
Pocket.
Okay.
Man. But I needed another keys player because I didn't want to play keys all the time in my band. I play keys in everybody else's band. I don't need it in my band. Which is why I don't have my keyboard here today.
Yeah.
But that's where CJ comes in.
Sorry.
That's where CJ comes in to take over my keys parts for me. He does a great job.
I appreciate it, man.
Not missing a lick back there, man.
You guys
for
muzzle
sure.
Casey at rehearsals?
No.
They should. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
And
I just consume everybody with laughter all the time. They love it.
for the first hour, and then we're like, man, we want to go home.
I'm silently instigating, like, oh,
You know what?
What did you want to say?
I could totally see that wry smile in the back, just giving you that
Jalen's
look. Like,
she's a problem, but she won't admit it. She just be starting stuff.
y'all don't
No
even have to tell us.
problem.
We can
Jalen
tell.
and I show up to rehearsals matching too.
Yeah, Casey's my buddy.
Naruto.
Yeah, Sade, that smooth operator.
Trying to separate them in here.
So, Sear, what
My
else is in
gosh.
your what's in your instrument arsenal?
Man, I don't know if we have time for that. Right now, I'm mostly playing drums, bass, or keys or organ. It depends on the day. Like this last weekend, I spent a day on a different instrument. So Friday was drums, Saturday was bass, and then Sunday I was on keys and organ at church. So yeah, it gets wild.
You
And
play
can
any
hang
horns?
on all of them.
Oh, I guarantee it.
You didn't mention he's singing too.
Huh?
Oh, we heard him
We heard him
serenading
sing. Yeah, he was
earlier.
singing to Jalen.
He's got his own project. I'm part of it. CJ's
Yeah.
part of it.
Actually, it's pretty crazy. The
Kiana's
Elementals
part of it.
and my group is almost the same group.
All right, so I guess we'll see you in here on your own soon. Huh?
Just different string players.
So when
Many
you,
more people
Right.
in this small space.
I'm telling you, we can do it.
We can fit.
We can do
Yeah.
it. So
We
what
bring
is
in a choir. Yeah. Okay.
We'll put them on there. We'll
down
put
the
them
back wall.
outside. Up and right down the steps. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sweating.
Yep.
It's only going to get warmer.
Especially, yeah.
What do you think about heating it up with another tune? What do you think?
Especially with the music, it's gonna get hot.
Let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
Can we turn the heat
Now,
on?
I gotta be reminded what's our second song. Harder Days. Yeah.
Tell us about
this.
it. Yeah, tell us about it.
Man, that's a story I don't remember. That one. I think I wrote it between students at work. To be honest, yeah, I was probably I don't
Between
remember.
what? Students?
I think I was teaching and I wrote it between two. I had time between two different students. I was like, time to write a song. Man, Harder Days. I think it was summer, and I think it was just about like getting out, seeing the people you love, like, but also knowing that like tough times are ahead, but you can get through it with your family.
Hey,
I like that. I like that.
All right, nice.
Your coffee, yeah. I don't drink coffee. I love the smell of it, but
oh man,
yeah.
it's the best. I'm not sure my eyes open before I put coffee in my
I
body.
love coffee in the morning.
Let's see who we got on this one. Is it? Yeah, bring us in.
All right,
Sir
you can drop that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, light of the way, I just think about you, sipping coffee at your morning brew. Beauty wherever you go, you got the world to show. Sunshine in the air, you take a walk and the neighbors stare. You got me weak in the knees, I can hardly see. Harder days have come, I'm running around dizzy from the sun. I said that harder days have come, but when I'm with you, I've already won. Listen, you know I gotta tell you the truth. I wasn't sure, but you already knew that we'd be together in 3, laying my PYT. Now we've been together for 10, took a break back together again. You got me weak in the knees, I can hardly see that harder days have come. I'm running round. I said that. Hey, but when I'm with you, I've already won. Casey. Let's go. Harder days have come. I'm running round dizzy. Harder days have come when I'm with you. Harder days. I'm running round dizzy. Harder days have come when I'm with you. I've already won. What you know about harder days? Oh yeah, right here, right now, man.
Thank you.
So awesome.
So good.
That's
So
very
good.
nice.
It's so good.
All right, Ray, so tell us Tell us something non-musical people need to know about you.
Okay, so that's a hard question. Most of my life revolves around music. So let me give you a little rundown, right? So I'm going to school for business, but it's got a music concentration. And then I spend my evenings either gigging or rehearsing all the time. But I guess something I do in my spare time that is just a little, that I love movies. Don't matter what.
Oh, don't let him take you to a movie.
Okay, I would go see a movie. I don't even know what it's about, right? So we went to see a movie the other day. I can't
Terrible?
even. No,
Pool?
Yes, that was the
Did you see
exact
it?
movie.
No.
What was it?
Infinity Pool.
Infinity
Oh.
Pool,
And-
art house, horror, like
Oh.
psychological.
Is it good?
It's got one of
so-
those Skarsgård brothers in, you know, from
Yeah.
It, like the clown.
Not that one, but his brother. But yeah.
It's his brother.
It was. I enjoyed it. It's good, but the thing is, I enjoy all movies.
Everything?
Even if it's bad, I still enjoy disliking it. So like, I'll watch any movie and we'll walk away satisfied. But other people are like, that was trash. And I'm like, but it was good though, you know?
I love to trash talk movies.
What did you hate?
So like if it was really bad, that's my favorite thing is the discourse of how bad
Yeah.
it was.
Like,
Mhm.
what was that movie with The Rock? Black Adam? I liked it. I'm just gonna say it, but everybody else hated that movie.
Well,
Yes.
I've yet to
It got
see it.
canceled, didn't it? Like he's
Yeah.
not doing that character anymore because no one. Yes.
Because
I
no
know.
one went
I
to
liked
see
it.
it.
No, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch
I didn't
exactly.
watch
it.
I
I didn't watch that one.
So Ray, you gonna go see Cocaine Bear?
Probably. The thing, what happens is
He loves
I
that
see
movie.
so many movies and then I run out of movies and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna go see this one.
Wait,
And
the real story of Cocaine Bear,
It's
like
a movie
It's
now.
a
the
movie.
bear that ate all that
Yes.
cocaine
Yeah.
and was
Yeah.
like
It's-
rampaging for 20 minutes
Yes.
and then died.
It's a movie.
Oh,
I
It's
think
in
what I'll
theaters.
see next is knock at the cabin door or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where the world's ending, and then I'll probably end up seeing Cocaine Bear.
All right. Yeah, so Cocaine Bear, I think they, it's dramatized. I'm
They
sure
really
it's
made a
over
story
like
of it.
a period of time now. But yeah, it's a real thing.
We all know it only lasted 20 minutes.
I mean, that guy's...
They gotta stretch out the movie for the money. Okay?
It's the lead up to that 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes of pure terror.
I can't wait to watch
Daquan will for real,
Meth
like,
Squirrel.
Oh my god, the sequel.
Meth Squirrel.
Daquan will like for real, like message me like
I'll be
late,
on my way to the movies.
like late at night.
Someone,
or-
you want to go?
And he'll be like, "Do you want to go?" Like, like when we
She'll
went
show up too.
when we went and saw Infinity Pool. Like, I had work and I had work the next day because it was going on Friday. But what he said, he was like, "I'm either thinking of seeing Infinity Pool or Puss in Boots." I was like,
Which is
"All
really
right."
good, by the way.
He's gonna see Puss in Boots. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be chill. I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." And I'm going up to the counter to get a ticket. I'm like, "Yeah, Puss in Boots." He's like, "No, we're seeing Infinity Pool."
I was wrong. You
Hey,
said it.
I told her
Puss in
I
Boots the
one.
prequel
She
to Cocaine
assumed.
Bear?
But Puss in Boots, actually, really good. Like I saw that one too. Just so you
I
know.
wish I could have seen that.
You can still go. We can still go.
And then he won't tell you that he's seen a movie already when you go to see
Okay,
it
she
together.
did it too.
Because here I was thinking that we were about to have a Black experience together going to see Wakanda Forever.
Okay,
Come to find out, it was only new to me.
that's not because my parents already bought the tickets.
I saw it the night it came out. It was a Thursday, and I was like, "No one's gonna go see a movie on Thursday
Packed.
with me." Like, no, it was empty.
What?
Yes, it
on
was
the
empty
premiere?
on the premiere on Thursday because people usually go on Fridays, and I was like, "I'm gonna go." Like 10 minutes before it happened, and it was good.
Really?
See, I didn't get into Wakanda Forever like that.
I've seen it 3 times now. I love it.
You've seen it 3 times.
Three
My
times.
issue with it was that I agree with Namor.
All right.
As soon as we started talking, I
No
was
spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen
No.
it yet.
I made
That's a crime.
Casey watch it
Well,
last
I
night.
mean, is it
It's
out?
February right
Is it
now.
out?
It's even on. It's on Disney Plus too.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's on
now.
streaming.
It's on Disney
It's on
Plus.
Disney Plus.
Hey,
I got Disney Plus.
You better
we know
stop.
you're just trying to steal some cool air
No.
out there. It's all
Yeah,
good.
you know what? I did
That's
cool down. I cooled down like 6
No
degrees
spoilers,
just now.
but
I'm gonna
Sirius
let
is
y'all
also
know.
fired from the.
Well, you heated up from that comment, so.
Yeah.
They always do me dirty.
Just
No,
watch it
that-
before the month is over. We'll forgive you.
Are you done? I'm just done. I'm
Well,
off
you can only
tomorrow.
watch it before the 14th.
I think I'm gonna
if
watch it
you don't
twice.
forgive him. I'm playing with you.
Don't even. Don't even.
Oh my goodness.
Between all the experience in this room, all the performing experience, we got to get a good story out of this one. So tell us about a nightmare gig or the most embarrassed you've ever been on stage.
So the thing is, I forget about that stuff real quickly because, like, to me, it's in the past. Like, it already happened, but they reminded me.
I got one for you. I got one for you all too.
I remember that.
I got one for y'all too when you're done.
That we did?
Did it happen?
We just did it about 20 minutes ago.
You're calling us out on it.
Like, yeah.
It was us.
Tell him what we did.
Our first, on Friday was my second show at ever as Ray Keys, as Ray Keys, for Ray Keys at Z-Bar.
And Z-Bar.
But the first show was at Kaiju back in October of last year. And, yep, we played one of my originals, Lullabies, which conveniently also features Kiana Dell. Good vocalist, got easy.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I don't know what happened, but I mean, we started the song way too fast. Like, and I don't know about y'all. I didn't know how to fix it. So we just kept going.
I was like, you counted it in and it was so fast. And I was like, I was frozen. I was like, this is way faster than we're doing. But I was like, I don't know how to fix it in the moment.
I knew afterward, and I was like, it's too late.
What was crazy about that was, so y'all weren't there. You were there, but you were so I wasn't playing drums. So I was playing
That's a little
keys.
fast.
Oh, you're on keys for this one?
Because
Yeah,
CJ
I was
had a
missing.
different show that day.
Okay.
So I was subbing for him, and Will was subbing for me. And a couple of us hadn't made it to a rehearsal. So we didn't have a great understanding of what we were trying to do in that moment. And he counted that joint off. And I'm on keys like, well,
What's crazy though is any other time my tempos are like,
I know.
Like,
spot on.
I'd be scared.
But
it's
that-
crazy.
he'll play something a couple clicks too fast, and I look at him.
I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, he's the person who had us rehearsing to a click, and we had to decide like specific BPMs, beats
88.
per minute, for each tune that we did during rehearsal, which actually really helped us. It was valuable, but like he was the person who was keeping us honest.
Meticulous.
I would know where it was in that day. I don't know that song.
Maybe it's a good thing and a bad thing, like you're a human metronome, but you started fast and you just couldn't change it.
Yeah. That's it.
That's really what happened.
But since then, I mean, for the last thing we just played, we've had a significant number of rehearsals because I want us to be as tight as possible, but also still flexible, right? So if I want to do something extra or someone else wants to take a longer solo, like we can do that, but we also need to keep how tight we sound. Like I want us to sound like a record, you know, that's our sound, you know?
Yeah.
So we've gotten a lot better at that, though I don't expect any more 3 times the original tempo songs.
I was on keys that day. It wasn't me.
Sierra said, just
You just go point that
It wasn't me.
I was on keys.
Yeah, I think for me, any gig where the sound is not right, especially if you're in a big band, it always ruins it. Like, it doesn't matter how tight we are between each other. If we can't hear each other, then there's no way it's going to function. And like, we can try to like adjust in things, but my biggest thing, and I think people think that I'm being a diva about it, but like the sound setup has got to be right. I just need to be able to hear so I can tune in.
Absolutely. There is, especially if you take the time, you're there pre-show, you're doing what you're supposed to be to get it right. Mm-hmm. You have to, especially, with Kiana and Sunky, you add so many elements with horns and vocals, and what you have 2 or 3 different singers this weekend.
I have 3 singers, and then I usually have a horn player, but we just don't have them today.
So, I mean, you have to get that right in a live setting. If you don't, you are going to you not only torture yourself, but torture the audience. And especially, when vocally, when you use that as an instrument, which you do a ton, and Ray, you're doing that a ton these days too, is using that as, especially when you take yourself away from the keys and actually, because that's something else I noticed is how much your growth vocally has happened in the last couple of years. I don't know if that's just stepping out and taking the lead, but in the last
couple lessons from Kiana Dell,
I'm sure that helps. But it's noticeable.
Yeah,
like
thank
it's
you.
noticeable.
I appreciate that.
It's noticeable.
I've tried. Yes.
You can tell that you're working and it was already good. But yeah, when you add so many things, you got to have that sound right, 100%.
Especially if you're trying to stay flexible, like, and do things on the fly, like, it makes a difference. You know?
Absolutely.
It does, yeah. And even if, again, like, we work so hard in Ray Keys and the Sun Kings to carve space for each other because there are so many of us. And so if that's being completely eliminated when we're in a live setting, then it makes us look like we're the ones that aren't compensating. So that's always a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
And then we had a gig where they took like 2 months to pay us. And that was more of a nightmare than anything I've ever experienced.
Oh my gosh. How does that happen?
It was they gave us a whole runaround, and that was part of the nightmare. It was like, we have in the contract, supposed to be paid the day of. In the contract. Contract was signed. Then they're like, oh, we had a problem with the company credit cards. Okay, I'm chill, I'm cool, pay me on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, well, now we don't want to have to pay the fee. Can you write us a new invoice to account for the fee? Oh, okay, well, now we're going to have to process this through. I mean, it was like a runaround. So.
Oh, that sounds
One
awesome.
of the things that we like to emphasize in whatever band that we're in, but also like just business to business in general, transparency is so important, because if they were transparent about what was going on, cool, like, we're human, we'll work through it. But like, when you're not transparent, that just causes problems.
Yeah,
it's
and
human to human, you know?
Yeah, they're owned by a corporation, so I was like, okay, no mercy. Like, if you're an individual, a small business, like, absolutely transparency, I work with you. But you're owned by a corporation, like, you could have figured this out.
Yeah. Well, and it feels like you're not being treated like professionals, which all of you are.
Exactly.
You do this for a living. You do it, and you take it seriously. So when somebody doesn't take you seriously, it's a slap in the face to not only what you just did, but you are pros. And you need to be treated like that, regardless of what size the venue is or how many people you played for. You sign a contract, abide by it. You're professionals.
10 out of 10. To hire you.
No, you would not want me as your guy. I will be your hype guy, but you don't want me for business. We're hiring Ray. Ray's the business guy. He's going to school for
Kiana too.
You guys, not me. Trust me.
What are your long-term plans with that music
I was going to
business
say, if
major?
it was up for me, we still wouldn't be recording this podcast.
Long-term goals. To be honest, I'm taking it as it comes. The reason why I did it initially, and it's still a large part of why I'm doing the degree, I go to shows sometimes and I see that there's no one there. But then I listen to the band and I'm like, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So my question then is why, right? And also, like, I see cities like New York or Nashville or Atlanta or LA or even Chicago or Detroit, and there's music coming out and it gets to us. So I want Louisville to be a place that can happen. And so, one, just getting experience in the industry, but also two, learning from people that are already in it, which is why I'm going to school, to learn how do we get from point A to point B, So whether that's me working for a local nonprofit, shout out LJI, or working for like a record label or just like A&R just on my own and helping teach other artists how to be, how to market and how to capitalize on their own talents. That's what I want to do.
All right, question, because I've thought about this. We've talked about this a ton. We've made a couple trips to Nashville in the last, few months, and we've listened to what there is on. We haven't even really went down the Broadway thing because we've done that. And it's a bunch of pros that know how to play, but there's nothing original about it. Louisville has the scene. I mean, I think it's better originally than what's going on anywhere else. So, like, how do you like this room? I see bands. There are bands everywhere in this room, and every one of them are filled with professional, awesome, unbelievably as talented as anything you walk into and see down there, musicians, and there is that everywhere in this city. How in the world do we make this the spot? Because I'm telling you, man, it is right there. We're at that edge where people are shocked when they hear Louisville music, because I think that they're like, what is going on? Because it's not. There is no like standard. Here's what Louisville music is. It's like Louisville music is a spectrum of different. It's crazy,
Definitely.
So and there are levels that are so good. So how do you do it?
You're talking about a city's culture. Like some cities, there's a culture where, what you do is you go out and you watch live music. And I don't feel like we're there here. It's like, it's not part of the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you
That's-
create that?
Gonna be difficult, but we can all tag team that. I know you probably have some stuff to say.
Please, everybody fill
For
this up. This is a
me,
real.
I mean, you're right. It's about the culture. We just have to show up. It's like musicians ourselves have to show up, which we do a lot of the time anyway. But we have to be accountable for that. 2 is that we have to work together, right? So what gets me a lot of the times, and it can't always be helped, but like competition, we put shows on the same days all the time, which there are plenty of days and the amount of space between us that we can organize something so that we're not saturating the market for one. There's so many things going through my head right now. I can't even.
You know what? I thought you touched on something that I love to see is if I come to any of your shows, there's going to be 10 musicians there that have been in this room. If we go to the Monarch and watch a show, there's going to be 15 people that have been here that are supporting somebody else completely. They may know them, they may not know them, they may have heard of them, they may be friends. It's just that's the. But on that, I think the caveat of that is I'm seeing the same pockets at the same shows instead of the big mix of Louisville musicians. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it might be pockets of like Z-Bar where you'll see, a certain group that is either always at Z-Bar or goes to shows that are where the people that are playing are at, or Monarch or Whirling Tiger. It's I don't know if they're like always there, or if it's in their neighborhood. But how do you get those pockets to become one unit?
Touching on 2 points that I wanted to mention, which we'll probably discuss for a bit. But they're really related. So like the first part of that is that we need. So in places like Nashville or New York or wherever, they have venues that are dedicated to music. So like we have those, but like it's not the same environment yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like in Nashville, there are people that go to venues because they know there's going to be music, not because there's someone specific that's going to be playing. So the culture around that is different. And the second part of that is slipping my mind we need to learn as musicians and just as business people, because our music, although it is a passion, it's also a business. If we want to make it that, it doesn't have to be. But we need to learn how to specifically target our market within our city, right? So even though marketing concepts are similar across the industry, we have to figure out how to be specific and tailor that to the people in Louisville, and figure out what there's a market for.
Yeah.
Going back to like that concept of working together, I think it's important to just remember to support the musicians that are not even in your circle, but in general. This was pre-COVID and I'm just getting back to this now, but like I would go to 3 shows a night and people would be like, oh my God, are you tired? Yeah, I am. I'm exhausted, but I kind of saw it as a networking opportunity. It's something I had the privilege of doing. And I met a lot of venue owners, other musicians through that. And then people were recognizing like, oh, Kiana comes out to shows, so then we're going to go out to her shows. And it's kind of this equal exchange of appreciation.
Give and take.
Exactly, for the people. And not in like a quid pro quo, like transactional kind of way, but just because we see each other and we appreciate each other. And I think that's really important. And musicians and music lovers in general kind of need to get back to understanding that like we have to support each other in more ways than one, like we have to get paying for shows back into the culture, especially since in Louisville shows are like at the base level price that they could be. Like $10 is so cheap for a show, for the quality of the music that you're getting. Of course, I'm saying this from a place of financial privilege from somebody who has the access to that. But if you do have the access to that, go to shows, pay the $10. When I go to cities like New York and Chicago, you can't get into a weeknight for less than $20, So I think that while you have it, value it.
Do you think that sorry to interrupt you, but do you think that part of that is devalues what's going on in this city with music? I mean, is setting the price low kind of setting the bar low for people, or do you think? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Does one have to do the other? Does people look at it and go, $10? I ain't even gonna mess with that, or do they go, all right? Do you think a price point is a determining factor for somebody?
I get what you're saying. I don't think it sets the bar low. Personally, I don't think it sets the bar low for the quality of what you're going to see. I think it sets people's expectations low. So then when they do see a show that is more than that, that's at that $15, $20, $25, $30 price point, they then think that that's expensive.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, I don't come through your line at Walmart expecting that you're scanning my stuff for free.
Yeah.
You're working. You know, a musician is working. Yes, we do it because we love it. But also we want to be able to support ourselves and sustain our craft with this. And so you have to value the work that a musician puts in with your money if you have that privilege and access.
And, you know, I think people don't weigh into the fact at all, like going out on a show like that, they'll pay $200 to go watch a show at the Center.
Exactly.
That's trash. But won't pay $10 to come to the Z Bar and have an intimate experience with a very, very good band.
Exactly.
And what's crazy about that, if I may.
Please.
No, what's crazy about that is, you know, right now I can name you 5 people off the top of my head on tour that we know. Like Louisville musicians are exported.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like these groups, I mean, one of my mentors that plays organ was on tour with Patti LaBelle last year. Plays at St. Stephen's. Like, so it's like, you know, these big groups that you see where you know the front man, but you don't necessarily know who's in those bands. A lot of times you look in those bands and you see the dudes that were playing at Z-Bar and the dudes. I mean, shoot, we just played with Danny Markham on Friday. Danny was with Childish Gambino. So it's like, Danny's Louisville born and bred. I knew Danny when I was in first grade. Like, so when you talk about the quality of what's the scene here and the quality of the musicians, it's like, at what point is it like, all right, where the city at?
Exactly.
Because they will drive to Nashville. Like,
well, I mean, that's facts.
That's the thing too. Is that a lot of artists you see, like you'll see they have a show in Nashville, you see they have a show in Cincy, and you see they have a show in Indy, but they don't have a show in Louisville.
Yeah,
is it the culture, like what, or is it there's not a market, or like? But I know if some people came through, I would go see a show. You know, so I wonder what the disconnect is.
There's something.
There's got to be something.
And it might be like you said, the city not showing up. You got to have the audience. And it can't just be, you know, if it's a Friday night, there's a high likelihood that, you all be playing somewhere. And not maybe in this group, but in a different group. You might be playing keys somewhere else. So it's like, what... I don't know, man. It is such a weird, complicated question to me about why Louisville, the city, doesn't show up for the music, because the music is crazy right now.
Personally, I do think it's culture, and I think that some people, especially people that have been in the scene for multiple years, they think that because things come and go so much and our venues close and they reopen, they've kind of gotten desensitized and maybe a little jaded, and so they think that the culture can't be shifted, but you have to, and obviously, like, it's easier for me to say because I'm young, but, I've been playing gigs since I was 13 because my parents were very supportive. So even regionally in my hometown and surrounding counties, like, I started gigging very young, and you have to stay hungry and fresh and know that, like, yes, at times it's going to be discouraging, but we absolutely can shift the culture, and all it takes is, like, collaboration and communication and a lot of hard work for us to shift that. Because I do think that the culture is that we don't value musicians the way that we should, especially nationally touring musicians. I mean, whose ever fault they want to claim it was, like, there's no reason why that the disrespect to Erykah Badu should have happened at Waterfront when it's not happened to another musician. You know what I mean? Like, whoever you want to blame it on, it shouldn't have happened, and Louisville's name shouldn't have been associated with that. We should have valued that experience more. And I think that we absolutely can shift that from the bottom up.
Man, I hope so, because there's too much amazing positive things happen in this scene for that not to come to fruition. So I'd love to see y'all a part of that, making that happen.
We need Ray to get that music business major, and then we'll petition for him to get on the mayor's entertainment board.
We're gonna call the mayor, man.
Mayor Keys.
Ray Keys, music ambassador for Louisville.
Man, y'all starting I don't even have...
Let him get the degree first.
All right, so let's hear what's the last local band you guys have listened to?
Ray Keys and the Elements.
Us too. That's weird.
A lot of what we do is learning music for whatever band or church that we're playing for. And so that takes up a significant amount of listening time.
Yeah.
But I think the last local song or local band that I listened to, Ego Trippers just released a new song, Holy Smokes, I think it's called. When same day I released my song, so
I know who those guys are.
some trouble there.
Yeah.
But that was the last
That's
thing
what
I
you talked
listened
about,
to.
communication, man.
Oh, I know.
How about next
Right?
week, bro?
Exactly.
Let's go. Let's get this lined up.
I think for me, it was two. I listened to Turbo Nut, and then Otis Jr. He's got a couple different projects, one with the Jesse Lees and then one with Dr. Dundiff, who is a producer, and all of those people are very close to my heart. But yeah, I listen to their stuff quite a bit.
Well, I did go to your all's show recently. Kiana and Otis Jr. had like this really intimate, nice show at what was that?
Everything
It's
but the
called
kitchen sink.
Everything but the
Yes.
kitchen sink.
Yes.
And
I don't even know what that is.
Kiana, you guys need to come in here.
they sounded so good together. Like
That was Otis
it was
Jr.
so it was such a transcendent experience. Like I mean,
I
I
bet.
was just speechless the whole
It was
time.
really
It
good,
was
and I got it recorded.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm
shout
like,
out.
let me get that CD.
Hey, I think we all need
I'm
to
gonna be mixing it this week.
give Casey. I think we all need to give Casey some kudos for being quiet for so long.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks, Casey.
We're having a
It's a
serious
record.
conversation. I
Record
should be
time.
joking this. Yeah.
I gotta give Casey. My last live show was Ellie Ruth Lilac and Casey at Z-Bar.
Oh,
And
there
it
you
was
go.
awesome. It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Talked about that 2 weeks in a row, Brent.
Shout out,
that was
sorry,
awesome.
Siri. Shout out Louisville. They're our local hip hop festival, hip hop curation collective. They put on the Everything But the Kitchen Sink series, which originally started in a kitchen, in Dave Will Chris's kitchen. Shout out to him, incredible rapper, hip hop artist, lyricist. But yeah, they started this series that Otis Jr. and I had the privilege of being a part of this past weekend. Yeah, shout out to Louisville for sure.
I'm part of the problem. I don't make it out the show. You know, people that know me know I work 4 jobs. What? Yeah, I am always working. I'm always working.
On purpose?
I like to have the expendable income.
I like free
symbols.
time. Yeah, man.
But
I thought you're
you're not
sponsored.
wrong. The last show that I went to locally that I was not on was your show when it was you and Jordan. Yeah, that was the last one that I went to that I wasn't on because I think that was the last time I saw you out. I mean, on a gig. Legit. It's so wild for me to be somewhere and not play because it's like if I made the time to come out, like I'm usually on it. I'm trying to get around more, but like
You got
I
no,
gotta sleep when I
you
gotta
got no
sleep.
relaxing here, dude. You can't just chill out, can
I
you?
gotta sleep.
Sierra's a ladies' man. You need to bring one of your dates to the show.
What's
Let's talk about it.
There you go.
That's why he was singing earlier, man.
Your cocoa butter baby.
This is going so good.
You know, I am searching for my cocoa butter babies. What camera we on? Where you at? You know what I'm saying? Hit me up, you know. CJ.
You know I'm closing up on that when I video edit this,
Oh,
baby.
please, holla at your boy. At Swisskid on Instagram.
CJ, cut him off.
Repeat the question again. So
Last band
Last
you
local
heard.
band you listened to.
last bands I listened
Local.
to, all these guys in here.
He ain't lying.
I started attending shows through one of my close friends, William Breckenridge, the drummer. He's the one who got me into the mix with Ray Keys here, and I've been going to Casey shows for years before I had ever had an opportunity to play with him. And I would go to Kiana shows, and I'm just excited to finally be a part of the mix now.
Let's say, man, how's that? How's that sitting there going?
We're
I
excited,
can do
too.
that. I can do that. I can play that. Man, I can play that. Can I play that?
You gotta hear this kind of
Yes.
And you got to hear him on bass too.
All right. I saw him. Let's talk about that.
Makes me sick. I try so hard to play one instrument.
All right, we got to give Casey his moment. He's been waiting so patiently.
All right, Casey.
Built up puns.
The last local band I listened to was Routine Caffeine because they sent me their demos today.
Hey, there you go.
Well, they sent them to me a couple days ago. Today I was finally had time to listen to them, but doing their next record.
Oh,
Right
cool.
on.
And,
Yeah.
So far, it sounds great.
Your producer needs.
That'd be awesome. Can't wait to hear that too.
You guys talked about William. I think he was the tallest drummer to play that little baby kit back there.
That was such a funny dude.
6 flavors.
Flavor number 1.
Will drums.
I think he used his knees for the hi-hat.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear another one.
You ready?
What you got for us, Ray?
This one's going to be, I said Sweet Memories Part 1, right?
All right.
Part 1.
Song number 1 on the
wait.
record. On Brown and Gold, number 1.
Did your homework.
I did. I listened to it. I don't
Yes,
play
I
games.
need you.
Be on this one.
If you wanna
You
listen
ain't come
to
in when you're supposed to on that
Sweet Memories
thing.
number 2,
Who
song
did?
7,
You
number
did.
2, 1.
I didn't know that you had started on 1. So I thought you was going 1, 2. Everybody else came in.
Quick count in.
So
It starts with CJ.
that's right. Let him use you. Take us to church.
Oh, you got it.
Let him use you.
You've got pain inside. Don't know where to hide, but you can count on me to make some sweet memories, sweet memories. I can see your tears. I can feel your fears. I can tell your load, your sorrow. I know, I know. One more from Casey. Just hold my hand. We'll start again. Let your worries fall away. I am here to stay. You've got pain inside, but still your arms open wide. Now you are free to make what we're gonna make now. One more time.
Hold on. Let me change this battery. I don't want it to go off on the last little thing.
I thought you were about to.
Say we'll do this another night. Let's start from the top.
It's gonna be 105 degrees by the time we're done.
Oh no!
All right.
How far out do y'all book this?
We're booked
We're out through June now. Yeah.
Which is
Keep
nuts.
it busy.
Oh my God.
My God!
You back on, Neil?
Watch out!
Have a lick contest.
All right.
It's a water bottle.
Nice. Jalen loved the bass on that
Jalen.
Oh,
I don't just love Jalen because that's my daughter's name. I love it because of your bass playing too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hard-working talent. Oh my gosh.
I did name my daughter after you, so you better be an awesome bass player.
No, I'm glad that Daquan Conde.
Who?
I mean Ray. I'm sorry. Who's Daquan? He keeps it pretty open for me. And lets me, kind of do
Here's the
bring
thing,
it out,
like
do what I do. But he's
More.
that's what I was
always
gonna say. You just say, Jalen, play the bass, and then you
Yes.
back off.
Yeah,
You let
heck
her
yeah.
do her thing.
Oh, she makes it look easy.
But
Smooth.
it is to her. Look at her. She's just like bored back there.
Lady bass.
It's easy for her.
And what she'll do is in rehearsal, we'll just like back off, and then on the show, go nuts. I'm looking at her like, oh my gosh.
I was like,
She's a gamer,
I
huh?
guess this last show I really kind of showed out because everybody was talking about it afterwards.
Yeah,
We've also been playing with each other. We've also been playing with each other so long that we connect
we
on that.
mind meld
Mhm.
like so many
We'll
times.
sing. There was a part where
that's
Yeah.
I'll sing something or play something on the keys, and she'll play the same thing at the same time.
Oh, wow.
I got a question. All right, this is maybe simple, and I think it's for all the instrumentalists here because I think everybody does different stuff. You can play guitar, and your vocal are definitely an instrument. Does the fact that everybody plays something else make situations like this easier? To where you can have the trust and ability, or do you judge at what everybody else does as you're playing an instrument going, I wouldn't play that.
I don't think it's a hostile environment. Like we
No.
not like, oh damn, like,
I feel like it's
But
healthy. Of both.
For me, I think it's more of a problem.
Yeah?
And we've talked about it before. Because so when I play drums, he likes a lot of pocket.
I'm strict.
Oh, yeah.
I'll admit it, I'm strict.
Mhm.
The
It's okay.
more
Know what
that
you
I
want.
know a song and the like different layers of that song, when I'm playing drums, you start to hear it melodically. So I get actually really busy.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's been times in rehearsals where like I'll be setting up like background vocals and stuff because I listen to the song so much that I'm like, oh, here comes this part. Like, and I've listened to playbacks in rehearsal where it's like I get muddy because and then when I listen to it, I'm like, nah, but that was like set this look up.
Hey.
Like I'm like checking boxes, but at the same time, it's like for the sound that he's going for his group, it's way too much.
Well,
I can recognize it.
I think I got a response for you anytime he gives you any shit. You can say, look, man, don't get mad at me for playing drums after you put 7 layers on your last song. You can't get mad at me.
That one song.
Hey, you put broken glass in the drum beat.
Yeah,
That's true.
he really did.
He really did that.
I did. It sounds good too, so I'm gonna keep
But,
it.
it's real interesting when you hear a playback and the drum set's playing the piano part. And that does happen. Like,
Yeah.
that does happen.
So my reasoning for that, I'm defending myself, but you know what I'm saying. But like whatever music I'm playing or whoever I'm playing with, I play what needs to happen, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So like I'm always it's more subconscious, but like when I first started thinking this way, I had to think about it. It was just like, what is the reason for this thing happening? And if there's no reason, then why am I going to do it? You know?
Yeah.
And I think that really lends itself to sounding polished and like a whole. So like, I've been him, especially when he's on keys too, them licks that he just throws in. I'm like, so, and the thing is like, at a certain point, I'd be like, okay, don't do that. But like, when we first started, it'd be like, okay, so why did you do that? Like, do you have an answer? Because like, if
it
you
was
don't,
cold.
It's like what I was preaching is like serving the music above our individual talents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we sound good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's probably with so many. You got a band. You're the head. You're the head of a band. You're the head of a group. You're the head of a group.
Different for everybody
So
too. Yeah.
So you kind of have to have that type of knowing what you want in your thing
Yeah,
to do that. I would imagine.
absolutely. It just, again, like what Ray said earlier, it
We don't know him.
breeds a lot of communication. We have to be open with each other because I'm thinking as an arranger most of the time. So if I notice something, I might point out to him like, that sounded a little muddy right there. Like, can we run that back or can we clean that up? And, I think it helps us more than it hinders us. We don't often find ourselves like at odds with each other. But we do have some open discussions in rehearsal. It's like, well, we're doing it this way because I was hearing this, and then we can understand each other better through that. So I think it helps us that we all have that kind of experience.
Well, and I think that it leads to creating a ton of space. And you talked about space, leaving Jalen space. It's awesome to have 5 or 6 different instruments in a room and not feel overwhelmed.
Yep.
You can
That was
hear
the point.
It's so
Thank you.
important.
You know what?
can hear-
Validation right there.
You're talking dirty to him now.
The rest of the year.
No, man. Look, we've had.
He's about to retire now.
Well, we've had 3 instruments in here, and you can't tell what the hell's going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There are times where, and when you know what that sounds like, and when you hear it, and you can recognize, okay, this is going on. I mean, because like Casey's playing notes. You're not playing much of. I mean, you're playing notes, not chords. The keys are doing a lot of just chilling on roots, and it is awesome to be able to go, here's what's going on. I can close my eyes, see where everybody is, picture it. And there's just sometimes you're just getting like, bah! And that's it's music, but is it music? You know what I mean? It's awesome to have, to see the different instrumentation and just feel and hear everything separately.
It's also situational because like we've got was that you? Oh, never mind. It's also situational because like we've got a bass player friend, Cam Gooden, and he can play, but he. I mean, I've played with him for years, so we just have that relationship. But like he'll ask me like, okay, he'll send me a video like, what do you think about this? Like, is it too much? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what do you think about your bass playing in that situation? Like, so he's gonna sub for Jalen won't be with us on a gig.
I'm not coming to that one.
Oh my God! Listen to Cam. He's good.
Cam is great.
Cam is good.
All right, Cam's great.
Hey, Jalen, man.
But like for me, I'll be like, okay, so play what's necessary, and then like sprinkle some stuff on top.
Mhm.
For his band, it's gonna be different, right? So we have to have that musical maturity to know like what belongs where and for who and why,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, for instance, just continuing the thought.
Live action.
Yeah, and live action. Live
That's
action
your
is large. Yes. And live action is a very big because the idea behind that, if you want to book a session,
Let's
we can
go.
do it later. But in that group, the 3 of us are all playing keyboards. Like our setup requires us it legitimately requires us 6 keyboards to play the set right now.
3?
So
6?
between the 3 of us and Cam plays
I'm
key
gonna play
bass
one.
on a couple of charts.
Shut
So,
up. All right, dude, we gotta. How many people are in this band?
what I think right now it's at 9.
God dang! Hold on, wait, fit 'em. We'll figure it
And
out.
that's
We're
the
gonna set a
beauty
new
of
heat
that
record.
We'll have to be in
is
there.
that we break it down for the situation. So like
Okay.
we're doing a Louisville Jazz Initiative gig, and we're not taking everybody. We're taking 5 of us for that.
Okay.
But yeah, so actually being in his group,
Strip down
Has
5
been-
people. Strip down. The stripped down
being
version
in
of
his
5.
group has been really invaluable because not only do we all play together with him, but then understanding like, okay, we got 3 keyboards and we're all code at keyboard.
Yeah.
So it's like, are we all gonna rip the slick right here? Like, are we all
That's why I'm padding. I'm just gonna let them.
and we really do assign roles for that group based on like, all right, this is an organ moment, or this is a keys moment, or this is a Rhodes moment, or whatever I'm playing at the time. Like, so it's been really invaluable to cross that line.
It even sounds like though with 9 people, there's a plan. There's space
yeah.
created.
Oh,
You
yeah.
carve out stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like you're
Oh,
gonna. It might be live action and thrown out, but I mean, even what you just said right there, You have a plan. You aren't stepping on each other. 3 or 6 keyboards aren't playing the same 6 things. I was thinking about when you were talking about thinking about what to play. I think about everything guitar first. So, and I'm sure anybody that plays, everybody plays like open G, open C, open D, and then you realize, look, okay, we can all play that, or you can go up a different position and play and make it sound bigger. It's the same instrument, but don't play. Why would you play what somebody else is playing? So I got to come see that, man, or get it in here. I want to see the 9 though. I want to see that. I want to have it here.
I mean, Kaiju, April 29th, Ray Keys and live action.
There we go.
I've hit the table so much today, man. So I apologize whoever's editing this audio.
April 29th. Make sure y'all.
April 29th. Hey, this will be out before that. So
y'all
April
got
29th.
Neil so excited, man. I've been trying to close this podcast down, man.
My bad.
So our listeners who want to follow you closely, and where can they find Ray Keys?
I need more social media, but right now it's just at Ray Keys Music on Instagram. I have a Facebook. I guess it's Ray Keys Music as well. I don't really use it. I need to get better about that.
That's okay.
And then also, I'm not going. Spotify is a social media, so go on there, follow Ray Keys Music or Ray Keys.
You got a nice website too.
Oh, thank you. I haven't really announced that yet, but now it is. I used it for I used it for. I need to put more of y'all on there. Actually, I need pictures.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet.
Can you put my face on the front page?
I have been using it for okay, if you don't want to buy this merch, you can buy it online later, blah, blah, blah. But now it's out, and I need to update my website. So you're going to make me do that.
All
Thanks.
right.
Speaking of merch, if you want some Top Hill Recording merch, we actually have some as of now. You can go online.
TopHillRecording.com.
There you go. Speaking of websites, I just paid $33 for a hat, so it better be cool.
So what do you guys will take us out with?
What was it? Oh, the new one, Cocoa Butter Baby.
Oh, yeah.
For the words.
Right.
Yeah, y'all got that one?
Yeah.
Just said pretty. Said pretty eyes or pretty ass?
Either. I think he said eyes.
It's eyes.
Okay. Just I have. No, he's gonna say
That's the explicit version, but I haven't written.
He wrote it for me.
Yeah.
Casey knows the word.
There you go.
It's all y'all.
With the pretty eyes, always take me by surprise. Your cute lips and a nice smile. Why don't you stay a while? Cause you a vision like the day. Can't waste your time away. So yeah, what you wanna do, baby? Just let me know. Today's up to you. I know what I wanna do when I'm kissing you. Tell me what to do. I ain't done ecstasy, but I'm about to be too high, laying next to you. You're my cocoa butter, baby. My cocoa butter love. Yes, you are my cocoa butter, baby. No ifs and buts or maybes. You're my cocoa lover, cocoa butter, baby. Cadillac ride so sweet. Up and down, take the back streets. Windows down while we beat the heat. Baby got a sunrise and an iced tea. Damn, I must be asleep. Nightmare at the wheel cause I'm living dreams. A love affair, it ain't supposed to be. Come and lay right by me, we met at that light beams. I know what I wanna do when I'm kissing you. Tell me what to do. I ain't done ecstasy, but I'm about to be too high, laying next to you. You're my cocoa butter, baby. My cocoa butter love. Yes, you are my cocoa butter, baby. No ifs and buts or maybes. You're my cocoa lover, cocoa butter, baby. Just like cocoa, like cocoa, just like cocoa, butter love. Yes, you are my cocoa butter baby. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. You're my cocoa lover, cocoa butter baby. Right here.
Thank you all. Thanks for spending time with us here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great job.
We're rolling.
That was awesome.
I was like, hey, y'all ready for this out
That
here?
was
It
awesome.
feels
Oh, that's
amazing
cool
out
area.
here.
What's the temperature in there, Brad?